Hello my dear friends and welcome to StudyIQ. I am Joycey Joy and today in this lecture we will discuss about the deceleration of GVA or the gross value added in agriculture. Now coming to the current affair, the Central Statistics Organization, that is the CSO, has released the advanced estimates or the AE of national income for the current financial year. And in the advanced estimates, one of the worrying aspects was the data on the agricultural growth in Indian economy. So we will discuss this issue in detail in this lecture. But before we move on, let me explain to you what is GVA or gross value added. GVA or gross value added is the amount or the dollar value of goods and services that have been produced in a country minus the cost of inputs and the raw materials that are directly attributable to that production. So what is GDP? GDP is gross domestic product. It means the monetary value of all the goods and services produced within an economy in a financial year. So that is GDP. And what is GVA? It is the value of the goods and services produced in an economy minus the cost of inputs or the cost of raw materials. Now, having understood what is GVA, let us move on to the data provided by CSO or the Central Statistics Office. So, before that, this is our channel StudyIQ and we are providing pen drive courses for various competitive examinations including SSC bank courses, UPSC optionals, SSC JE courses, teaching examination, railway examinations, defense examinations, RBI grade B, NABARD grade A, UGC NET, UPSC Civil Services Examination, CLAT exams for various state PSCs and also for various professional courses. You can visit our website www.studyiq.com for more details or you can call to any of these numbers for more information. Now let us understand about the national income estimation. So how is national income estimated? The national income estimates are prepared by the CSO or the Central Statistical Organization since 1955. And for this purpose, the Central Statistical Office has divided the Indian economy into three basic sectors, and these three sectors are used for the evaluation of various data from the three sectors. So you might be knowing which are these three sectors: primary sector, secondary sector and the tertiary sector. Now briefly about these three sectors. The first one, primary sector, it comprises of agriculture and allied services. So it includes forestry, fishing, mining, quarrying, etc. Now coming to the secondary sector, it comprises of manufacturing, power generation, gas, water supply, etc. And the third sector or the tertiary sector is also known as the services sector. So all kinds of services are included in the tertiary sector, including transportation services, communication, trade, banking, insurance facilities, computer software, IT, public administration, defense, external trade. All these services are included in the tertiary sector. So these are the three sectors of the Indian economy in short. And coming to the method of estimating the national income, the CSO or the Statistical Office uses different methods like the production method, expenditure method, income method, etc. for various sectors in estimating the national income. So these methods are not very important, but I have discussed about these three methods in detail when I have discussed about the chapter on national income, which you can find on the StudyIQ channel. So you can refer to the video national income for more details of these estimation methods. And also the national income may be calculated on both the current prices or on the constant prices. Now what is the difference between current price and the constant price? Constant price means the base year price. So for accounting purpose, a base year would be selected. So this base year is usually a normal year. So why do we call base year as a normal year? This is because the inflation rates in the base year would be normal. So there would be a moderate level of inflation or a normal level of inflation during a base year. So a base year would be selected in order to estimate the national income. So if the estimation is done at constant prices or base year prices, it is called national income at constant prices. Now currently the base year for measuring the national income and per capita income at the constant prices is 2004-5. So we are talking about national income. It is 2004-5, which was introduced in January 2010. Now coming to the current prices. So current prices means the market price, or what is the current price that is available in the market. So definitely the difference between current price and constant price is that the inflation rates are also added in current prices. So the market price definitely reflects the rate of inflation at present in the market. So that is a difference between current price and constant price. So CSO uses both current prices and constant prices in order to arrive at the national income estimates. Now the national income also does not contain data from some of the activities like illegal activities. For example, smuggling, gambling, etc. considered to be illegal activities. So data from such illegal activities are not included in the national income. Now, income from work done without remuneration. So if any kind of work is done without any remuneration, that is also not included in the national income. An example of this is the domestic work that is done by the housewife or mothers who take care or nurse the baby. So for all these activities, even though it is a work or considered to be a labor, income is not generated or remuneration is not provided. So such type of activities are also not included in the national income. Again, black money also not included because there is no source or there is no proper data on black money as well. So all these are excluded from the national income. So this is in brief about national income estimation in the country. Now coming to the issues that are spotlighted by the recent estimates. Now let us understand what are the issues spotlighted by the recent estimates. Now for the 2018-19 financial year, the overall growth of GDP was estimated at 7%, but one of the worrying aspects of this data is regarding the agricultural growth in the economy. So we have already discussed what is GVA. GVA is gross value added. So you know what is GVA? It is the final output minus input. So with regard to GVA in the agricultural sector, that is the primary sector, which includes agriculture plus forestry plus fishing, decelerated from 5.1% in the first quarter to 4.2% in the second quarter and 2.7% in the third quarter. So in the 3 quarters, we will see that there is a continuous reduction or deceleration of the GVA, gross value added of the agricultural sector or the primary sector. And even the year-on-year comparison of agriculture to GVA increased only by 5%. So this is in the quarter 3 of financial year 2018. So this is also a very poor performance of the agricultural sector. Now coming to the issues prevailing in the agricultural sector. One of the major issues in agriculture sector is the over dependency of population on agricultural sector. So even though there has been an economic diversification, that is a diversification from primary sector towards secondary sector and the tertiary sector. This is what is called economic diversification, that is the workforce participating in diverse sectors in the economy. So even though there was an economic diversification, almost half of the Indian population is still involved in the farm sector or is involved or dependent on the agricultural sector for their means of livelihood. So this over dependency on agriculture itself is a major cause of concern in the primary sector or in the agricultural sector. And secondly, several state governments have taken several initiatives in order to reduce the farm distress or the issues in the agricultural sector, and many state governments have declared massive farm loan waivers. So this was to reduce the discontent or the distress in the agricultural sector. But in case of farm loan waivers, it is not a long-term solution. It is a short-term solution. So it will provide a relief to the farmers only in the short term. But in the long run, this is not going to help. And because of this prevailing issues in the agricultural sector, it has largely resulted into a farm unrest or the farmers' distress all over the country. Now another issue is the government's target of doubling the farmers' income by 2022-23. And the expert committee on doubling farmers' income has stated that in order to achieve this target of doubling the farmers' income by 2022, the agricultural growth rate should be at least 10.4% per annum from a base period of 2015 to 16. Now, if we compare this with the present agricultural sector growth rates, this is not enough in order to meet the target of the government. So, doubling the farmers' income now will require at least 15% per annum if we take into account 2018-19 financial year onwards. So, now only 4 more years are remaining, and in this 4 years, the agricultural sector needs to achieve at least 15% growth rate per annum to achieve the target of doubling the farmers' income. And this is almost impossible, because the growth rate in the agricultural sector for the past 5 years has been significantly lower than 2.9%. Now it is almost impossible to achieve a growth rate percentage of 15% in this short period of time. That is, in the next 4 years consistently 15% per annum. Now coming to some of the pitfalls in the government measures. In order to deal the farm distress or the farmers distress, government has come up with certain measures, but there are some pitfalls or shortcomings in the government measures. Now we will discuss what are the pitfalls in the government measures. So from the past experiences, the recent past shows that there has been an increase in the farm output. So government has initiated various programs and policies in order to increase the farm output, but from evidences, it is seen that even though there is an increase in the farm output, the farmers' income growth is not increasing. So, even when there is an increase in farm output, this does not result into an increase in the income of the farmers. And as we discussed earlier, various state governments as well as the union government has initiated various measures that will address the short-term issues in agriculture, but they are not beneficial for the long term. For example, agriculture being a state subject, several states have initiated measures like farm loan waivers. The central government has initiated higher minimum support price for the farm produce, but all these measures will address the issue of farm distress only in the short term, but they are not helpful in the long run. Now, the current government has also initiated an income support measure in the interim budget known as PM Kisan. So, this is a direct income transfer scheme in order to help the farmers to increase their income. So, such type of initiatives have been already initiated by different state governments like Telangana, Odisha, etc. In Telangana, we have the Raitu Bandhu scheme. In Odisha, there is the Kalia scheme. Various state governments have already initiated, and also the central government has in addition introduced PM Kisan in the interim budget. So what is now required is that the governments, both the central government and the state governments, should move out of the traditional policies which have already proven to be a failure to make farming remunerative. So now what is required is market interventions, better price discovery, value chain, etc. So both the central government as well as the state government should move out of the traditional methods that they have already tried to help the farming sector. You can find the PDF of this lecture on my Facebook page, and for any queries regarding your UPSC preparations, you can get in touch with me on my Facebook page, or you can email me at joyce.studyiq@gmail.com. Thank you.